early mid 2000s, Web 2.0 also came up, and Web 2.0 is basically what allows people to interact with each other. So it's no longer like I send an email and wait, or send a text message and wait and stuff. But Web 2.0 allowed people to be able to interact with each other. The main features are, yes, interactivity, as I've just said, but there's also the real-time user access and control. And the big word, social participation. That is social media. So anything you would call social media falls under Web 2.0. Okay, and then the key point is that it is user generated. It's no longer like the usual web where there is a website, you just go and read news and that is it. Here, users actually generate content, okay, in Web 2.0, and it's, yeah, social media as we call it. Okay. Again, take note of this. These are axable areas. So you may just make an acronym out of it. RISU, RISU. And then so you pick it up from there. Now, Web 2.0 or social media has been quite common. I think these are just examples. You know of blogs. People make a lot of business or work out of blogging. So blog, by the way, is just a short form for web log, like web log, to keep log of something. So it was web log, but at a point the name changed to simply blog. We also know of wikis where people can just collaborate on documents and stuff. The biggest example of a wiki is Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is basically something open to all of us. You can create a page today and add content. Somebody can come and modify it and do whatever, and we build as we go. But of course, there are rules. You don't just state facts and leave them. You must state your source. Okay, so the challenge I was given in class, which probably wasn't captured, was um, think of your village, go to Wikipedia. If your village is not represented on Wikipedia, you probably should just create a page for it and just start, oh, so and so villages located in this part of this region. It has a population of so and so. Talk about the water, talk about the electricity, talk about whatever, and leave it there. You'll be surprised. Maybe you come back 2 3 months and somebody has added something to it, and that's how wikis grow. Okay. But of course, that is more on the public wiki. There are also private wikis like PB Wiki, where people can actually use to just create content for themselves and put passwords to prevent others from seeing them. Okay, social networking sites. You know the examples more than I do. All right. Sorry, in terms of connectivity for the wireless stuff, the major thing is cellular systems because those are the ones that we ride on for wireless connectivity most of the time. First of all, we look at the two competing standards, the CDMA, which was basically United States, but in other parts of the world, we had Casper and Co. trying to use CDMA. CDMA made calls very cheap, but made the device handling quite expensive, and it locks the person in. Unlike the GSM, where you can actually buy a phone and determine which network you are on. CDMA would not have allowed that. Okay, but it was cheap, and that's why those days it was cheaper for US to call the rest of the world and all that. Just take note that it's CDMA and GSM. But in terms of development, GSM is more or less taking over. And in fact, even in US, they are tending towards that. The first part of, the first generation of GSM was what we would call Edge. Then later on, we had the 2G networks, we had 3G networks, which came on board about a decade ago, where it now made it easier for us to actually use the web properly on our devices and send emails and all that. Then 4G came up, which enabled better better video content, especially. Okay. 5G is already in there, although not on the slide. And 5G makes it even much faster. Now, with 5G, it doesn't just give you good quality video, it actually allows the participation of other devices. We just talked about Web 3.0. So as Web 3.0 develops, we will be relying a lot more on 5G networks and stuff like that. In some countries, it's already in existence. Hopefully, in Ghana, we'll see, especially MTN and Vodafone are making efforts. Just to chip in, possibly a year from now, would know that Vodafone is no longer Vodafone, a different name altogether, which For the fact that this is going to be uploaded, I can't mention that, but yes, those networks are being taken over and they are just standing behind to bring in 5G. This is on the cellular part. Now, on wireless computer networks, we have other connectivity between the devices. You have Bluetooth devices, you have Bluetooth connection, as I said. We also have infrared, which is stated here. Wi-Fi allows computers to communicate among themselves and among their routers. Okay. Beyond Wi-Fi, we WiMax. Okay. Now, WiMax is what you get on the telephone mast, telecom mast, those tall poles there, and they can go as far as 31 miles. It's about 46 kilometers, roughly, or even more. Okay, but it cannot be picked by your usual computer device. It is the mobile devices that can pick such networks, and that's why you may now have to use your mobile device or your router to pick the signals from your WiMAX tower and then use the hotspot or Wi-Fi to give the content to a laptop or the connectivity to a laptop. All right. Now, other forms of wireless networking, RFID, tiny tags that are normally embedded. Take, for example, in some of the bigger supermarkets, you may buy a shirt or something and there's a tag on it. When you go to pay, they take the tag out or they show the tag to a certain device, which then deactivates the tag. So in the tag, there's a small microchip which contains data or information. And this data could actually even show whether the item has been paid for or not. So if you, for example, just pick a shirt there and you hide it and you don't give it to the teller, the moment you try to walk out, the sensors there will pick it and realize that no, something that has not been deactivated is passing through. And then the alarm blows. So this is one way of doing that. In bigger merchant companies, take say Kasajan, which is now KI and Cocoa Marketing Board. I'm sure they use it. I've not seen it, but I'm sure they use it because I know bigger companies use it. You see, for example, a whole truckload of say 1,000, 2,000 bags of share nuts going. If you are going to export that, you get to Takrady, for example, it will be too manual for somebody to now count the bags one by one and say, okay, yes, you took 1,000 bags of share nuts from Passing Pay and you have delivered 1,000 bags. What if you count 999? The driver may simply say, no, 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 you didn't count well. Let's count again. Imagine the time wastage. So what they would do is they would put RFID tags in them bag by bag so that at the offloading point, all that somebody needs to do is to have a reading device in his hand, point it to the truck, and it just reads, beep, 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 and then it gives you 1,000 bags finished. If it is not up, you can't contest that. It's a device, unless you want to say that, okay, some bags did not have the tags in them, and that's a different ball game altogether. So RFID allows communication, but this is not an active communication like with the Wi-Fi devices. It normally it's a one-way communication, but yes, very important. You actually see big time cattle ranchers tagging the ears of their corn, their cattle. It's not just for color coding to identify who is for what cow, but the tags there actually include RFIDs so that you can actually use that to tell the movement of the cow, its health, and all that. They are all in there. In more advanced countries, you could even have in a farm, somebody just press RFID, tiny, tiny devices around the farm. And these are just lying there doing nothing. But the moment, for example, somebody crosses over and it picks your shadow, it can send a signal somewhere and whatever needs to be done is done. These are the varied uses of these other wireless devices. So that's it for this point. In the next video, we'll delve into the next topic, e-commerce, digital markets, and digital goods. Thank you.